Hello, everybody. This does make a weird change to be this side of the um, hot seat, and I would like to introduce everyone on my team here so far. We've got Sam, Joseph, and Mac, and most of you already know Mac, and we do have a fifth one, but he's currently having a bit of COVID trouble, so unfortunately he's not able to be here today. So without further ado, I'd like to pass it over to Mac to roll on further.
So no pressure at all. Welcome everybody. What an incredible evening. I can't believe that 14 months ago, Joel was just a DM message in my on my LinkedIn where somebody went, "Hey, Mac, do you think you could help this guy?" And look where we've come. Over the last few months, incredible things have been happening, and I'm sure each one of these wonderful people that are part of this team will be sharing what's been happening behind the scenes. And there's been a lot. I mean, these guys have given so much of their time for this wonderful vision of Joel's. And Joel has been working tirelessly in the background, making little things happen. That all the little things that you see, like the countdown and the logos and the branding and all these amazing things as well. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. And tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to share a little bit about the story. We're going to share about the team, where we see things going. We're going to look at explaining what Rockstar X is, because a lot of people are still wondering what the heck is this. It sounds amazing, but what is it? And we're also going to do some Q&A as well. So if you've got any questions, please drop those into the comments. Those will come up, and then Joel will be able to highlight those so that we can then answer those questions for you. And also, as you already started doing, drop into the comments where you are joining us from. And we've got people from the US, from the UK so far, and loads of other places. But please, just let us know who you are, where you're joining us from. And I'm really excited to see Joel actually take the front seat on this one, because he's been occupying the passenger seat with me on the mini series for some time. He's already worked on series 2 and series 3, so he's giving me no chance to chill, because this man's on a mission, which is great. So Joel, we're looking forward to hearing your story, sharing it with you, and with that big smile of yours, and the enthusiasm that you have, it's contagious. So we have no choice but to just hold on tight and enjoy the ride, and see where this conversation is going to go. So what I'd like to do is just start off, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with asking Joel to do an intro, and just why this is such a big thing for him. And I'm going to ask him to try and keep it under 2 minutes, and let's see if that's even possible. And then after that, we're going to go to Joseph and then Samuel, and then I'll wrap up, and then we'll go further into what it is that Rockstar X are doing. So Joel, over to you.
Thank you, Mac. Right, the whole journey really started. I've only got 2 minutes, so the whole journey really started in 2019 when I got let go after I thought I was on having a very nice holiday, seeing my cousins abroad, and I got back, and then I got let go. That's a story in itself, and if you want to hear the full version, please connect with me. And I wanted to bring something new to the world. I noticed through the corporate world how autism and neurodiversity are placed, portrayed, whatever you want to go with here. And I thought it's time someone going to do something about it, because I like the old saying is, if you want something doing, do it yourself. And coming from a musical background, I thought, okay, let's have something that can be used to bring people's creativity out in them, to communicate that way. And I think we've gone over 2 minutes, so I'm going to pass it back to I'm going to pass it on to the next person on the list, Sam.
There we go. Got to catch the unmute button. Thanks for that lovely introduction, Joel. I think you just about got the 2-minute mark there. I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here on a panel with such talented people who've been working in their industries for so long. My name's Samuel. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Rockstar X. I've got a background in sales, marketing, community management, development, and mental health support. Alongside this, I do Web3 marketing for businesses. But I met Joel through a live streaming platform over a year ago called Bigo, which was an absolutely fantastic platform to be on because that's where I met Joel. And as soon as he mentioned what Rockstar X was and the vision that he had, I jumped on the opportunity to be part of something bigger than myself. Mental health is still in its very early stages of, what needs to be done to improve the space, and I'm so excited to be a part of this team to really disrupt what's happening and really set the stage for a more impressive future. I'll pass it on to Joseph.
Wow, that's awesome, Sam. Thank you. Thank you for having me. First off, today, what a great day to be alive, right? We're here, everybody's seeing sort of this live, happen here, and sometimes not realizing all the work that goes into everything. And, Joel and my relationship, wow. So I guess timeless at this point. Mac sort of was time stamping when he, looking back in the records and doing a background check, I think before this, I think somewhere a couple of years ago, right around when the world sort of changed and, people were getting sick and people were inside, and a friend of mine had started some coaching programs, and Joel actually showed up. He showed up to the coaching program and started talking with people, introducing himself. And it all stems to LinkedIn, of course, because that's where I met that coaching program. And from there, I think Joel started to tell me about his story. For me, I wanted to listen, right? I wanted to see and learn what he went through and sort of understand that, because I don't have that in my life, right? I've been very fortunate and I'm so grateful. And, Joel started saying, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. And he wants to, help other people. And he already was. And he was, coaching people on the drums. And it's just about, Joel, just get one more person. One turned into 2, turned into 3, 4, 5. Continued on, Joel, what else do you want to do? What are your goals? What are your dreams? And so Joel went down the road and did the work. He did a business plan. He started to put the right people around him. You see Sam, you see Mac in this room. There's many other people that have been involved in the process, right? I think when we look at that, that's what Joel's creating here. He's creating a community where people could come together. And you want to know how to do all this stuff, right? If you're listening now and you're like, well, I wish I could do that banner or, set up this streaming on the bottom here. That's what I think Rockstar is about too, right? Helping you do that. And I think we're surrounding it with the right people, and we're going to bring some great things as this thing builds, right? I think it's all going to start with what Joel's done is really work on himself, right? And making sure that, first and foremost, he's healthy, right? He's doing the activities he enjoys, he's passionate around, right? So important. I've seen him even recently leaning into the family and friends relationship he has and getting out there, meeting new people, networking. It's just wonderful. And we now have that. We have those capabilities now that things have changed, things are opening up. I've been able to travel. I'm blessed. I'm here in the United States of America, in South Florida right now. This is what I think we're looking to do, right? We're looking to help others be able to have the freedom, to be able to lean into their passions. Joel mentioned music. I think there's a lot of different things we can do in this community. wherever you're at in life, and whatever maybe challenges you have, right? I think let's all tackle them together. I'm really happy that this came together like this today, Joel. I mean, good work, my friend. And, doing something for yourself, you're making a commitment to yourself. And Joel really made a commitment to himself first. And now he's making a commitment to others. He's created this company. I mean, he has an accountant on the team. He has the right people. Good job, Joel. You did amazing, and I'm really excited for the future of this. And I don't know if Mac, you want to maybe open it up for questions, or if you have any questions there. I mean, I'm always open for questions, and feel free, anybody to reach out to me. Always happy to help. I'm accessible. As Joel tells you, he'll tell you, you may call me, and I may have to call you back in 5, but, we stay connected, and that's the thing. Stay connected to this group, stay connected to Joel, Sam, Mac, all the other wonderful people, even the people in the chat, connect with each other, reach out, ask how you're doing, how's your day going, see how you can help them, and let's all, help each other and take this thing, this Rockstar really global. I'm really excited for you, Joel, and everybody here.
Absolutely. And I want to echo a few words for Joseph over there, because Joseph, you've pointed out quite a few things that have been happening around in the background, and how much work Joel has been doing just on himself over the last few months. And I've told him a few times, when with my background, I've got a brother-in-law who's autistic, and I've got a child who's got ADHD, and I've been around what's been known as the special needs or neurodiverse community for a long time. And it's interesting how, a lot of the conversations that Joel and I have had, and I keep telling him he doesn't tick all the boxes, Joel, if you go and look on a typical, what is autism site, Joel breaks a lot of those rules. And one of the things that, ironically, I had a conversation about somebody earlier today, and, I was talking about this event tonight, and I was saying, I'm so excited to be working with this amazing team that are breaking the rules when it comes to neurodiversity. And, and this was somebody who's extremely well educated, does a lot of, works with a lot of movements and various different educational spaces. And she looked at me and she went, what do you mean neurodiverse? And I sat there and I thought, wow, we still have so much education to bring to this world, because, and one of the things we were talking about is enabling environments, because, for too long, the neurodiverse have been put into a category of disabled. And the reality is, and as Joel and I have on a few of the mini series, which I was so excited about, talking about just the fact that you are wired, differently, and that's all it is. It's just different programming, different language, and it's just learning that and enabling those environments. And that, I think, is the vision of
you're dead on, my friend. Like, I'm learning.
Yeah,
like Joel taught me. Like, I think Joel, right? I'm a big awareness guy. Like, you have to have some awareness first, right? And Joel's like, no. This is like about disruption and acceptance.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a huge education process.
And taking the time to understand and be interested, right? And spend that time with people.
Yeah.
And like Mac, right? If it's someone in your family or a friend or whatever, just spend a little bit of time with them, and consistently, so it's, not the one-offs, not, I do it once a quarter or once a year, I do something. No, if you want to help and you really want to help, you have to be consistent, and you got to make a commitment to things. And
absolutely,
that's where great change takes place. Right.
So, I just want to applaud Joel for being brave enough to be that voice that is just stepping forward, and some of the conversations that he's having, and there's no hesitation whatsoever. I just love the fact that when I say to Joel, oh, well, maybe we should do it. And he's like, okay, when are we doing it? Just give me a date. And he just cracks on. So, just watch this space over the next few years. So anybody that's interested in, if you've faced, adversity because of neurodiversity, this is the show to be part of. This is the team and the group to hold on to and come and find a way for us to together come and disrupt things. So, I wanted to ask Joel to introduce the new disruptor, as you put it, of Rockstar X. And then, feel free, Joseph and Sam, to jump in as well. But Joel, over to you.
Is this on? Right.
You know it is.
Sometimes I have it on mute. I had to look over to my desk to make sure nothing was. Anyway,
nothing can stop you, Joel.
Rockstar X is really about. We want where creativity and where creativity and uniqueness meet imagination, and we want to really concentrate in helping the neurodiverse community and the neurotypical community connect, really, essentially, and it's only through a universal language, such as music and other creative outlets, where that has been proven. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the only thing, one of the few ways of where everyone can understand everybody, even globally. So with Rockstar X, we want people to be involved. We want to build a community. We want to, unlike other companies which shall remain nameless, include and truly include everybody in what we do. And before I hand it over to Sam to take us through the what we like to call the Rockerverse, and explain to you what that is, where that is a community where we want all of you to come into and connect with us and on a whole different level. So Sam will be doing that. But has anyone got any questions for me? Anyone else here? And has anyone got any questions?
Yeah, guys, if you do have any questions, just drop them into the comments so that we can see them immediately. There may be a slight delay, just FYI for everybody, because of the streaming platform. There can be 30 or 60 seconds delay sometimes, depending on your own internet connection. So don't think we haven't seen your question. We may not have seen it and will then respond. So if there's a delay and a disconnect there, that's why. But Mark does say about you, Joel, that he does love your cheesy smile. And he absolutely loves it. And he says he has ADHD and Asperger's. So, it's amazing just to see these unique individuals come together and just be open and honest about the challenges that they face. But let's look at how do we enable that going forward. So if you've got any questions on what you would like to see, we have a question there. What got you hooked on music in particular, from David Chernick, the whole way from Boreham Wood?
What got me or who got me? That's it. That's well, I say my older sister. They're both older than me, but the middle one is the creative one. She is actually an artist. So we all learned as kids musical instruments through school, because you got to learn something, and two of us stuck with it throughout our career, and one of us didn't. But then we all learned something, and with when I watched a drummer at a wedding, it was a really weird circumstances. I had just begun the phase of falling out of bed in the middle of the night randomly, and my mother put a mattress down on the floor in the hope that I wouldn't, to cushion my fall. It didn't quite work terribly well, so I ended up in the closet, wardrobe, whatever, and I had then sprained my ankle by doing that. So I ended up in a wheelchair, and we went to a friend's wedding. So I was sitting there watching the drummer, and I pointed to the stage, and I said, I want to learn that. And I never looked back. I can't say the same thing about my parents, but I've never looked back. And since then, I've learned guitar as well, and picked up the bass, dabbled in the keyboards, and well, I used to sing until my voice broke, and that was the end of that. So I guess being from a creative family does help, and educational background in my father and my mother, it really helps that aspect. So put those two together, and you've got this.
Awesome stuff. We have another question over here. Again, David Chernick. Anybody else want to chime in? But David, you're asking some great questions. So what will Rockstar X actually do? So let's hear from everybody. We'll start with you, Joel, and then we'll go over to Sam, Joseph. Just get a flavor of what everybody sees as part of the vision of Rockstar X.
Well, my background is music, so I'm heavily focused on bringing musical retreats into the game, and also bringing from the US kind of a autism friendly, neurodiverse friendly rock and roll fantasy camp kind of thing, where you essentially get to hang out with stars for 2 weeks, and learn how to do awesome stuff. And among these are just a few things that we've listed and we want to do. And I think Mac and Sam might have other things. So passing on to Mac, then Sam, and then Joseph.
No pressure. You throw me right under the bus there. Thanks, Joel. So, there are so many things. I know one of the things we've spoken about is the whole education of commercial spaces, because one of the things that we looked at is some of the statistics, and the data is it's actually quite shocking, because there were some figures showing that up to 68% of hiring managers would avoid hiring a neurodiverse person if they knew they were neurodiverse, purely because of the fear of not knowing how to deal with that person or how to onboard that person into a company. So I know there's so many companies that need that gap closed, because and this is really frightening, but only 22% of autistic people are in full-time employment. And that is absolutely, shocking when you think about, once you get to know, and this is one of the things, Joseph, you hit the nail on the head with regards to just taking some time out to learn and understand, because that is one of the key parts that is going to play a big role in this, is that getting people to take the time out to educate themselves, to learn. And this is part of that vision that we see, being able to bridge that gap, because the reality is, each one of these individuals have such amazing talents, but if it had not been for Joel hurting his ankle and sitting in front of the guitar or those drums and seeing that opportunity may have been missed. Now, how many other neurodiverse people are out there that, just because of the fact that they are seen as potentially disabled and their environments aren't enabling them to have exposure to those things that they can go and make a huge impact in? So just imagine what our world could be like if we could enable our environments more by educating people about that. So for me, that's a big vision of Rockstar X, and working with organizations that may be fighting too hard right now, maybe locally, to try and make an impact. But if they want to come and jump on board, come and join us, come and collaborate, then getting those voices out on a global basis, we may be able to really echo those messages out there and make a bigger difference. So as everybody knows, together everybody achieves more, and that's what team stands for. So those, just a little insight from me. But Sam, I'll hand over to you.
No, Matt, you definitely made some fantastic points there. I agree sevenfold that the communities that have developed, big thanks to Joel, are unstoppable, to say the least. And the treatment of neurodiverse people has really, I think it's touched everybody. I don't think there's anyone that can say that they haven't come into contact with a neurodiverse person one way or another. My real vision for Rockstar X and what I truly love about it is it's the liberation of people that have been shamed and been oppressed and have had to fight for equality in so many ways, that having a company, a group, a community, a being like Rockstar X that can support them and help them truly achieve what it is that they want and that they dream of, that's what does it for me. Again, being a part of something bigger, something that will stand the test of time, that will make a dramatic impact to the lives of anyone and everyone that it touches. And that's not just the individuals that suffer because of the systemic oppression, but the families that have been impacted too. It's no hidden fact that society can cause great embarrassment because of these predetermined beliefs. And I almost choke up thinking about it, because it is really, really hard for so many different people. And for people to feel heard and to be shown, these brilliant people that have such incredible talents, even in the most severe of cases, for them to be able to feel they can recognize and achieve a dream that up until now they would have been told was impossible because of who they are. Well, that's ridiculous to say. I'm glad that we got such a great team to push this on. With the community that's being developed. I haven't had a chance to get to know everyone in the comments yet, like the rest of you have, but I'm very much looking forward to doing so. And I'd like to thank everyone for joining, and I'd like to thank for the opportunity to be here as well and help make this change.
Awesome stuff. And we're getting some great feedback and comments in the comment section. And thank you so much for sharing. We had one from Mark earlier that said, people don't know how to deal with me. Sometimes like a borderline genius. And he says he'll help the cause. So 100% behind us there. And Mark, thank you so much for some of the other comments that you put in there. Sam Morgan, who you've just commented, my son is on the spectrum and plays the trumpet, and I could totally see him going to one of these camps and having a blast and learning and connecting with others like him. And this is what it's all about, is empowering people. And I'm getting goosebumps just reading some of these comments and knowing what is really possible. And I think I'm going to keep quiet now. I'm going to hand over to Joseph for a second to kind of give his insights and feelings on these as well.
Wow. I mean, that's a tough act to follow. I think you guys really just hit it home, the knowledge, right? And people getting to that understanding, right? And taking some time out for gentlemen like Mark and someone to say to him like, hey, Mark, what do you want? What do you want to do? What are you passionate about? And even if it's an employer, right, that employer needs to have those types of conversation with their employees. That humanness is so far lacked today. Because I look just what's happened here and what's on this screen, like, and I bet you, Joel, some of those employers, right, if they ask you just a couple different questions or spent a couple extra minutes with you, they'd probably be in a lot different situation, because you'd been able to help them. And that's what I'm taking from this. Like, as much as I'm here to give all my, experience, knowledge within the financial world, business world. You know, I'm learning too. I mean, this guy Joel, you know, plays many different instruments. I mean, he's sending me the knowledge on cameras and audio and video, and I mean, it's amazing. And I think that's what we want. We want all people coming together, right? Sharing their knowledge, right? Let's pass this knowledge on. Let's help each other. And yeah, Sam, I echo your feelings. I'm a little choked up myself today, you know, even before getting on today, thinking about this. And so awesome job, Joel. And, you know, great comments, everybody. It's so nice to meet everybody, you know, virtually. And I hope to, you know, Sam, get out to meet your son and see him play the trumpet one day with us at one of our camps. That'll be totally awesome. So thank you.
Joel, I can see you've got something to say there, so I'm going to go over to you.
Well, I was just going to answer David's. Doesn't get any easier. David's question. And ideally, we would like to have the first of our many retreats, hopefully, next summer, because, well, we're heading into the winter months and it's not going to be very nice. If you want to spend your time outside in it and the composing and hang out with the stars in the two forms, in both forms, stars up there and stars in front of you. But yeah, we want to have the first retreat as soon as possible, David, and that brings us on nicely to the community, the exclusive community, which Sam will be talking about, and Joseph as well. So which one should I bring up, my screen, or do you guys want to do your screen? Which
I can bring it up. I think it might work. I got my notes here. Let me.
Okay.
Got to do the whole. Can everyone see? Got to move some things around. Here we go. There we go. Can everyone see? Can we all see what's going on? Or is it just me?
Just you at the moment.
Just me at the moment.
Oh, there we go. Here we go.
This is the Rockstar X Patreon page. I understand some people might be pressed for time, so I'm not going to spend ages and ages going through all of this. But you can get to this by typing up here Patreon/RockstarX, and it will bring you to this lovely page that Joel's put together here. So if you want to be cool and join our fan tier, we have our initial tier right here at £20 a month for our entry level tier. You'll receive a personalized thank you message from every single one of us, each of our lovely board members who are joining you here today. You're also, along with this, you'll get a free book from one of Rockstar X's many partners in business development music, and we're adding more and more every single day. Following this, we have the follower package in the center just here, starting at £34, which includes everything from the fan pack, which is always a good plus. We love prizes here, which is also personalized videos and audios from everyone at the team thanking you for all of your support, as well as a contact with us. If you're rolling down the road and you want to be a roadie for our next financial rest space, starting at a mere £75, you can dive in headfirst into Rockstars with a call with our chief strategy officer, Joseph Strauzinger. To apologize for slipping up on your name there, Joseph. Would just come down here to the rest of the levels we've got following the follower package and the rolling down the road with the roadies. You can build with the Bro Tech. The Bro Tech we have here from £397 a month. You can get access to everything obviously previously mentioned, as well as access to our private Discord server and early access to any of the releases that come out of Rockstar X, be it courses, music, games, with much more on the horizon, as well as things like the retreats, which we're all very, very excited for. The Grody. Here is how I got my notes here. Make your mark as a Grody. We're jumping at 497 a month, and join us on our monthly live streams to speak about whatever it is that you want to speak about. Join us up here on the phone, on the screen, and let build a community that way. We're starting that at £497 a month with immediate access to all of the courses that we will be adding to Rockstar from the day of launch. And as soon as we've got them all added. If you want to get up as a groupie, for starting at £1,397 a month, not only does it include everything we have mentioned, but you'll also get private lessons with members of our board, studio sessions once we were set up at the location, and access to both in-person and online networking events, which I love networking. I need to get out there and do it a little bit more. It's great to see Joel get out there and really breaking those stereotypes in some of these networking events. Thanks to Mac and Joseph. And make sure you guys let us know, obviously, where you're speaking from. It's great to connect with everyone. Please get in touch with everyone on the board today if you haven't already. So if you want to be a big player, if you want to be one of the big players that we've got running around, you join us with a VIP tier starting at £6,997, which gives you access directly to the Rockstar leadership, being Joel Felsenstein himself, as well with in-person meetups with the ones and only you see on the screen, as well as inside access to our VIP quarterly events, which I promise you are not something that you'll want to miss. Finally, but certainly not the least, if you want to be one of the rock stars of Rockstar X, if you want the world to tremble beneath us, becoming a true rock star with our final package at £34,697 a month, we have unbridled access to every aforementioned tier. Get access to Rockstar X business thought leaders from all over the globe with names like David Meltzer, Blaine Bartlett, Marshall Falk, Eric Coleman, Mike Hartman, and Steve Sims, just to name a few of the people that are supporting Rockstar at the moment. Get your access to course insights available to no one else, such as nutrition and athletics. Get your picture on the investors wall, which I cannot wait to see this wall. See all of the happy smiling faces of people that have helped make Rockstar possible, and in real-time studio access. And in addition to that, you'll get access to rock legends like Ben Weinman and Lawrence Hobgood, which are some of the most talented rock stars I've heard of, to say the least. So please do, like I mentioned before, head over to the patreon.com page /RockstarX. Anything you can do will help us massively. We really are trying to change the world here, and we need your support to do it. So like I said, I'm not going to take up too much of your time, so I'll hand up back over very gently to the gentleman we've got here.
Which one?
Well, how close are we coming to time now? We've got 48 minutes on the clock after the 10 minutes. Let's dive into the comments. Such a great Patreon package. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thanks for the personalized video and book. It's great to see that you've got it. We've got a very happy Patreon member just there. Everyone, like we said, reach out, connect with each other. It'd be brilliant to really develop the community as much as possible. If Mark had deep pockets, he'd let it all off. Trust me, Mark, if we had those deeper pockets, we'd all be investing all of this all the way up. We'd all be rock stars of Rockstar X. Trust me. I'll pass it over to Joseph, and then we'll go from here.
Yeah, I think great work, Sam. I think building the community right. Part of this is like, what are you going to get, right? Well, we're going to give you as much value as what's coming in, right? And part of doing this is Joel's created a corporation in Rockstar, right? We are looking to build that, and the way you build that, any business, is with cash flow, right? With investors. So this will help us get to own places where Joel could go and have studios, and there will be there'll be all sorts of wonderful things. Not to get it. I mean, Joel will send you the business plan, I'm sure. If anybody wants to reach out, he's done a lot of great work in putting that together. Sam, everybody. So reach out if there's I know Sam went through that pretty detailed, but if you have questions about what that means, some of these people that are surrounding this company are great dear friends of mine, who want to help out, right? And who want to see other people succeed, whether that's, just to make you happy, right? Or, teach you about your money, or, have people that can teach you about instruments, right? Look at even Max, his technology around, learning around LinkedIn, the work he's doing there, and Sam's work, right? So we have a lot of just wonderful people coming aboard. And as this thing builds, right, so too do the people in your lives, right? Because this is what it's about, building this community for everybody, I'm really excited. So reach out, ask questions. We're here to help. I'm sure as that goes along, we'll be updating that page, and there's gonna be a lot of interesting stuff you'll start to see there. So looking forward to it, guys.
Excellent stuff, and we've already got some comments like Mark saying, "Hey, I can teach people to draw." So if you want to be involved in any way, you definitely reach out. Joel, have you got the link for that Q&A sheet where people can go and just put their inquiries in?
No, you sent me that as a PDF, but
okay, I'll look it up, and I'll hand over to you while I look it up, and I'll send a link so that people can go and fill that in the meantime. Because that's where you can show your interest, whether you want to be an investor, whether you want to be somebody who brings a skill set that you want to contribute, that you feel that can change the world. Anything that you feel that is going to make a difference, or somebody that you want to introduce to the organization that can help with this mission. You never know where a conversation is going to go. So let's just put our heads together, and even if it's something that just seems far out for you and you think maybe not, throw it out there. You just never know where that idea can go. It might be something totally different, or it might lead to something else. But if we don't put it out there, the universe won't know that we what our intentions are. So Joel, I'm going to hand back to you, and then I'm going to find that link.
No problem. Find the way, Mac. Find it. Jackie, thank you so much. Yes, I'm glad you remember the month, because I certainly didn't. But thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for the comment, and look forward to sharing with everyone even more where all this goes. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this, as everyone is, to see where it goes. I am not a fortune teller, so I can't really see where it's going to go, but Mag, they want to get a hand on the link.
I think what you're saying, Joel, is like, you really don't have so much expectations, but you have a plan. That is for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about the work you do, and seeing that, and be an example for others too. Because that's what you're doing here. You're going to lead the charge with this. And what link are we looking? You got to get that link out there, guys. These people need their link. But I know one thing. You can't tell the future, but I definitely foresee this forum at least being a place for people to come together on these live type sessions, and as whether it's I know Sam went over different groupings in there that you could get involved with, but I mean, at the least, people coming in and us being able to have people to the show, and interview some great people will be people get a lot of value just from that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that, my friend. Everybody.
Well, yes, thank you, Joseph. Before we do wrap up, because we are conscious of time, and Mac is always conscious of time. I just let the day go straight forward without even looking at the time. But
Joel, you have the link, by the way. Check your messages. I can't put it into the it's on your WhatsApp. I can't share it on StreamYard for some reason. I don't have the power.
You don't have. Okay, I'll fix that. Yes, so if you want to connect more with us, learn more about us, connect with us, certainly, number one rule, connect with us. I know we break all the rules here, but there is some rule which we don't break. for all of those who want to get involved, seriously, it's great to see you all, and looking forward to getting to know you. And yes, so Mackie, do you have any final words?
Well, I think, just for everybody who's been watching this or watches this at a later stage, Rockstar X, even though it's still in some ways in its infancy, because we're developing all the visions and the way forward. The reality is these things can progress at a rapid rate, and the reality is just having all the right people involved. So if you're sitting in the shadows right now and you think, you know what, I've always wanted to make an impact in the world, why not? Why can't that be you? If you look at the incredible work that Joel's doing, in spite of all the challenges this man has faced, and most of you don't even know half of what he faces and has faced to date, yet nothing phases this guy. So he just keeps pushing on. So if you're sitting there and you think, you know what, I want to be part of something bigger, something that can change the world, something that will enable environments where people can make a difference, and that can allow each individual to be recognized for their own individuality rather than just having to fit in the same box as everybody else, then this is the place. So reach out. The team that we've got, that Joel has put together, I mean, Sam and Joseph and so many other people behind the scenes that aren't even here today, that are just incredible human beings. And I'm sitting there every day and I'm just blown away with, it's a great time to be alive and to be part of something like this. So every single one of us can make a contribution, whether it's something small that tips it over the edge and takes it into that big picture later. Just step out and let's be part of it. And thank you so much for taking the time for watching and for supporting Joel's mission, because I know it's not only Joel's mission, but it's very much your mission and those people that are watching as well. So, Joel, I want to just implore you and thank you for driving us and making sure that, this vision doesn't just gather dust. I'm excited to see what the world has got in store for Rockstar X. The link is there. It says forms. Just go on there and just put in your interest in there. I'm going to hand back to you, Joel, and then the rest of the team to kind of finish off and wrap up. And just watch the space, folks.
Right. Before I wrap it, before I speak, does anyone, Sam, Joseph, do you want to close off with anything before I?
I'd just like to add something before you finish there. I think, Mac is really hitting it head on. This is one of the greatest ideas that I've heard of in a long time. And I mean, when you think about it, I sort of researched this a little bit. I don't see anybody doing this. You have Joel here. He knows no one doing this. All of us sort of know no one is doing this. So be part of doing with us. That's the exciting part, right? We don't know how this is all going to go. And that's exactly where Joel was going. But you know what? We know how to surround it with the right people. We know where to go to ask for help. And we will continue to do that to be able to, help everybody who comes to Rockstar.
Sam, you want to?
I'll keep it nice and sweet. We're here trying to change the world, and with such an amazing team and support behind it, it's going to happen. There we go. It's going to happen. It can't not. Get involved, follow, share, do all of that fun stuff, invest in the Patreon, whatever you can do. We're like Joseph said, and like we've been really trying to push, we are doing our best to change the world, but it's not going to happen overnight. We're in it for the long haul. So let's take it by the horns and go. Thank you for everyone for joining.
Thank you, Sam, Joseph, and Mac, and all you lovely people out there as well. And for those of you who don't know, we are starting a series of our own in September, which Mac is part of. I somehow managed to rope him into this one as well. It's called Different Not Less, and we would love you to join us when that starts as well. So until then, we'll see you next time.